to Krishna and serve others. I read it again. Real tolerance is not just tolerating for the sake of tolerating, it is tolerating difficulties in order to give pleasure to Krishna and to serve others. So, Hare Krishna. When we are in difficulty, we can just take shelter of Harinam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna. So, this is explained by His Holiness Radhanath Swami from Daily Nectar for the Soul. Hare Krishna. May I know who's in the call today?
Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna to all the devotees. This is Surinder Bhandari from Maryland. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा सुरेंद्र प्रभु धन्यवाद प्रणाम श्री प्रभात की जय गुरु महाराज की जय थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग Prabhuji actually today's speaker is from Brooklyn Temple, New York, and his Grace Sri Gopal Pran Prabhu is visiting India for 4 Sundays. So he gave his partner, like his colleague, for as a speaker, Arjunananda Prabhu. So he has some class on in the temple. So we were waiting at till 7:30. So may I know who's there in the call today?
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Malini from Ashburn, Virginia. Hare Krishna to all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Malini Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you so much for joining and your beautiful chanting.
Hare Krishna, Sham Rasika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. Thank you so much for today's quote, Mataji. That was meant for me. And I really appreciate you for that. This is Premanandini from Ashburn, Virginia.
Hare Krishna, Premanandini Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining in. You're always humble, Mataji. And that's Guru Maharaj's quote. Hare Krishna. I don't see Prabhuji join. So, yeah, he joined. I got his message. Let me check. Yes. So, Hare Krishna, we are so fortunate. Anybody else would like to announce their name? Okay, so we'll read Prabhuji's introduction. So we are so fortunate to have His Grace Arjuna Ananda Prabhu from Brooklyn Temple. His brief introduction is His Grace Arjuna Ananda Prabhu is a dedicated brahmachari based at the ISKCON Brooklyn Temple, and he is a dynamic spiritual leader and youth mentor, shaping the future of Krishna consciousness in the United States. A graduate from the prestigious NIT Surathkal, he first came into contact with devotees in 2013 during his bachelor's study. After a successful professional career with leading multinational companies such as Tesco and Amazon, he felt a deeper calling and fully dedicated to his life to the service of the Krishna by joining the Brahmachari Ashram in 2018. In 2019, he arrived in the United States along with His Grace Radhesham Prabhu to spread her youth preaching initiatives. Beginning in Boston and New York, he has since established a powerful spiritual movement among young professionals and students across the tri-state area. Currently based in Brooklyn, he is the visionary force behind Gita Life, a thriving young adult community that has already connected with over 1,000 individuals. Under his leadership, there are 5 active weekly Krishna conscious programs in New York and New Jersey. He also provides mentorship and guidance to the Govinda's Canteen, which is entirely operated by the Gita Life volunteers, with all proceeds dedicated to spreading spiritual education. In addition, he organizes the monthly youth festival in Brooklyn, a dynamic gathering that draws under 80 enthusiastic participants every month for an evening of uplifting Krishna Katha, ecstatic kirtan, and spontaneous prasadam, entirely run by volunteers inspired by his vision and dedication. With his blend of intellectual strength, corporate experience, spiritual depth, and heartfelt compassion, Arjun Ananda Prabhu is transforming lives and building a vibrant spiritual community centered around the timeless wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. So we are so fortunate to have Arjun Ananda Prabhu today, and I will hand over the call to Prabhuji, and Prabhuji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, summary of 7th chapter. And His Grace Sri Gopal Pran Prabhu is visiting India for 4 Sundays. So Prabhuji will be us, Arjunananda Prabhu will be us with us this Sunday and next Sunday. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Please take over the call now. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
I request all the devotees, please keep your phone on mute so that we can hear Prabhuji clearly.
Thank you, Mataji. I just pray that I develop all the qualities you mentioned. I'm pretty sure it is hyped up in the introduction. And I think there was some sort of confusion in the topic. So in case anyone wants any clarification or anything from the 6th chapter, I know Shri Gopal Prantu has spoken 6th chapter summary. In case that is what was needed, I'm happy to serve like that also. Otherwise, we can do 7th chapter.
Now we can do 7th chapter, Prabhuji. I think nobody has question.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So as I was told, I can go till 8:10 and then we take question answers. Is that okay?
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So we are beginning the 7th chapter. In the summary, well, 7th chapter is the beginning of the devotional or the bhakti yoga aspect of the Bhagavad Gita. We all know that Srimad Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 sections. First one is the Karma Yoga section, then Bhakti Yoga section, and Jnana Yoga section. And some people ask, why is, if Bhakti Yoga is the topmost, why did Krishna have to even speak Jnana Yoga later on? Krishna should have, concluded with the Bhakti Yoga. Some acharyas given explanations, just like sometimes if you see, you take a cream biscuit or ice cream or something, the filling in between is always the sweetest. Everyone is looking for that. And other things are supporting the filling. So similarly, even in the Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord presents Bhakti Yoga in the middle because the Bhakti Yoga is a sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. And even Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga also fall in the fold of Bhakti Yoga because it is directly to do with Krishna consciousness. But the Jnana aspect is also, the knowledge aspect is also to do with Krishna. And Krishna is saying Karma Yoga, action. That is also do it for me, which becomes again Bhakti Yoga. So in this way, the entire Bhagavad Gita is about developing Bhakti to Krishna. But the middle 6 chapters, the middle portion, the middle section is directly Bhakti Yoga, which Krishna explains to Arjuna. Now, 7th chapter is the beginning of that section of Bhakti Yoga of the in the Bhagavad Gita. So, the 7th chapter, Srila Prabhupada entitles 7th chapter as Knowledge of the Absolute. Why? Because before we access the sweetness of Krishna, we need to know the greatness of Krishna. Trying to understand the sweetness of Krishna without understanding the greatness of Krishna might end us up only on a sentimental platform where when some mishap, when some disaster, when some problem, trouble comes in our life, then simply appreciating sweetness of Krishna will not help us. So therefore, first of all, when we understand the greatness of the Supreme Lord and how the Supreme Lord is managing the entire material world just by his energies, how he is the supreme proprietor, controller, enjoyer. When we understand these aspects of the Supreme Lord, that by cultivating devotion to Krishna, we only, by cultivating devotion to Krishna, it's not that we stand to lose anything. It is cultivating a relationship with the Supreme Lord, who is supremely capable of doing anything and everything. So therefore, Krishna starts with, first of all, giving some understanding of himself. But please understand, whenever a person has to talk about himself, it's pretty difficult. And Krishna is the supreme of everything. So Krishna is also supremely humble. That means if Krishna has to speak about himself, he only could speak 6 chapters in the Bhakti Yoga section. Other aspects also there. But what Krishna is mentioning throughout Gita about himself is not even a drop of his actual glory. So therefore, a devotee wants to taste the glory of Krishna, he has to hear from Krishna's devotees. Only the devotees can try their best to glorify as much as possible the Supreme Lord. But Krishna is pretty humble. And in 7th chapter, he's now giving the greatness aspect. Therefore, Prabhupada titles it as Knowledge of the Absolute. So, in the 7th chapter, say I'm referring to Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's Gita Subodhini. So if you don't have it, you can purchase it. It's a very nice book where Prabhu has very nicely developed, categorized into different sections. So it helps us perceive more. So there are many, many concepts the Supreme Lord speaks just in the 7th chapter. And Gauranga Darshan Prabhu makes it into 5 categories. So initially, I'll just give you a brief flow. First, Krishna talks about the glory of understanding, the knowledge of Krishna, why to understand Krishna. And then he talks about his energies, how everything in this world is being maintained by his energies, and how even a new devotee can perceive Krishna in his life. And then he goes on to say, therefore, everyone should surrender to God. Everyone should surrender to Krishna. And surrender to Krishna means Krishna, understanding Krishna to be the supreme Lord of all the lords. Patim Patim Nam, it is mentioned. That means understand that even if someone was worshipping demigods, the demigods have a master. And the Supreme Lord is not bereft of a form. He is not impersonal. He has a personal form. So understanding even further aspects. So he clarifies about demigod worship and impersonalism. And finally, Krishna says, go from delusion in Maya to devotion to himself, to Krishna. There's a flow of the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So, in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna about how it is very important to hear. So maybe I'll just share my screen if that's possible. Yeah, it is possible. So we can just recite. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Chapter 7. Shri Bhagavan, I'm not sure if all of you are in a position to repeat. If possible, you can repeat. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Sri Bhagavan
भगवानुवाच
Maya Sakta Manah Partha
Maya
मय्यासक्ता मना पार्थ
Yogam Yunjan Madashrayah
Yogam
मदाश्रय
Asamshayam Samagramma
Asakshayam
Asakshayam samakrama
Yatagnyasya Tachrunu.
Yata
यथा
ajanasitacharano.
So after speaking the 6th chapter to Arjuna, Krishna concluded the 6th chapter saying, Yoginam api sarvesha mad gatinantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate omam sameyuktatamo mataha. So Krishna told Arjuna that practice, in the entire 6th chapter, he was talking about Ashtanga Yoga, and Arjuna got bewildered thinking, Krishna, what are you saying? I'm nowhere there. For me to control my mind is so difficult, and you're talking about all these different aspects. You have to leave a body at a certain time, and you should not leave your body at a certain time if you want to reach me. And then he says about going to the forest, sitting on a deer skin mat, wearing on the bark of a tree, sitting not too high, not too low, closing your eyes while meditating, not fully open. So Arjuna, after hearing this, he got bewildered. He says, Krishna chanchalami manah Krishna pramati bhalavadridam. My mind is so strong, turbulent, and obstinate. I cannot control my mind. So this process is not practical for me. So then Krishna says, yes, Arjuna, I understand your problem. But at the same time, you have to cultivate knowledge and develop detachment. And then it's possible to control the mind. And then later on, he concludes, he says that therefore to become a yogi, tasma yogi bhava Arjuna, like that he concludes the 6th chapter. And then he says, but who is that yogi? He says to become a yogi is best, but who is it? Who is a yogi? Krishna tells Arjuna, you are that best yogi. So you don't have to worry. A bhakti yogi is the best yogi. Like that he concludes. Yoginam api sarvesham, of all the yogis, put together all categories of yogis. He says, Mad gate antaratmanaha. The person who is completely absorbed in me. Shraddhavan bhajate omam. With great faith, he worships me. Same yukta tamo mataha. I understand that he is most united with me in yoga. Like that he says. So from there, after announcing that a bhakti yogi is the topmost yogi, now Krishna begins the 7th chapter, where he's telling how to become a devotee, how to become the practitioner of a bhakti yoga system, bhakti yoga path. So Krishna starts with saying, Mai asaktaha manah partha. That means a bhakti yogi is one who develops or cultivates his mind to attach. His mind should be completely absorbed, develop attraction towards me. Mai asaktaha. Sakta is like attachment. Asakta means a lot of attachment. Mai asakta manah partha. Yogam yunjan madashriyaha. And in any practice that a devotee does, is always constantly taking shelter of me. Asamshayam samagramam yatha jnasasi tachrunu. So this path I will explain to you, Arjuna. Please just hear. So the path of Bhakti Yoga begins with hearing. If we do not hear about Krishna, or if we choose only selected portions to hear about Krishna, that will not do. When Krishna says Yata Jnasasi Tatshruno, now Krishna later on mentions that what all you have to hear about me. Not only my sweetness, also my greatness. And actually first greatness and then sweetness. So, in this world, we observe that more we spend time in this world, we develop our mindset, we develop our ideologies. We are influenced by so many things happening in this world just by hearing. So therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna, if you want to become my devotee, you have to start with hearing about me. So therefore, it's a very important verse, and this is the highlight. Last line is the highlight where Krishna clearly says, you want to develop attachment to me, you want to become my devotee, the first step, the first rung of a ladder is Tachrunu, just hear. Once Srila Prabhupada, he was sitting in his guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, was having a gathering, a yatra in Vrindavan. And I don't remember which temple, but the darshans were about to close. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was speaking. So there was an announcement made that those devotees who would like to, go for the darshan, the temple is going to get closed now. Darshan is going to get closed. So you can, if you wish, you can go for that. But in the meantime, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur will be speaking on Krishna Katha. So you can choose what you want to do. So all the people got up and left the place. Very few were there, amongst which one was Abhay, or Srila Prabhupada. So this Abhay, he thought, what I will see Krishna with my, fleshy eyes, with my conceptions of the world. I cannot see Krishna. Better I see him through hearing about him from a bona fide spiritual master. So then Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur gave, of course, he was speaking Krishna Katha and Abhay heard. And later on, I think in Ahmedabad or somewhere, Abhay, when he moved, he was helping a lot in the local Gaudiya mission. So when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur happened to be there, the local sannyasis went to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and they suggested that this Abhay, though being a grihastha, he is doing so much for the mission. Can you please initiate him and even probably make him a president here? They asked him. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarked, oh, Abhay, yes, I know him. He likes to hear. And that's what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's confidence in Abhay was, that he is a good hearer. Because a person who hears well, a person who hears attentively, a person who hears with the intention to become Krishna conscious, always digging deep to become more and more Krishna conscious, such a person can actually speak. There is no speaking without good hearing. If we do not hear from the Vaishnavas, from the Vaishnava Sangha, from the Guru, from the Gurus, from Srila Prabhupada, when we don't hear properly, then when we speak, all our mental concoctions and mental speculations and these things will come out. WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages, isn't it? So therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appreciated how Abhay actually sat to observe or to experience Bhakti Yoga by hearing. So therefore, this is of utmost importance. Now, see, Krishna tells Arjuna in text 2, Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshamya sheshatah yajñatva neha bhuyo nyaj jnatavyam avashishyate. Krishna tells Arjuna that, my dear Arjuna, now I'm going to speak to you complete knowledge, jnanam and vijnanam. About whom? About myself. After knowing which, you will have nothing to know. There is an episode in Bible, Jesus caught someone and he was telling him he was the person was asking Jesus for more and more knowledge. Jesus said, I have much more for you to, he said, there is much more for you to know, but you cannot bear it now. So Jesus did not give complete knowledge. But Krishna in this verse says, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. That means Bhagavad Gita is complete. It is Upanishad Sar. It is mentioned in the Gita Mahatmya that one who studies Bhagavad Gita, actually Bhagavad Gita is compared to, if you can take all the Upanishads and compare cow to be the body of the Upanishads, then it is said the milk, which is considered as the essence of the cow, is the Bhagavad Gita. And the cowherd boy who is milking the cow is the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. And the calf which is drinking that milk is Arjuna. But calf cannot drink all the milk. So the remaining amount of milk is kept for his devotees. So in that way, we understand how this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is complete. So here Krishna says that I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous, both jnana and vijnana. That means first we understand how this material world is completely controlled by Krishna, by his energies, and then we understand that energy is the Pati is the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord's energies are controlling everything. Therefore, complete knowledge means we need to know three things. MSC. What is MSC? Matter, spirit, and the control of both. So this is complete knowledge. If you only know matter, that's Jadavidya, material knowledge. The whole world is going behind it. If you know only spirit, means basically understanding Aham Brahmasmi, that I am spirit soul. But that's not sufficient. Your spirit soul, so what? What next? And that is, then Krishna says, okay, there is matter, material energy. There's spirit, spiritual energy. And then both put together, there's the controller of both. And that is the Supreme Lord. So therefore, if you want to get an understanding of full knowledge, it has to be MSC, matter, spirit, and controller of both. And then Krishna says, how rare is it for a person to come across this knowledge? It is not that anyone can understand Bhagavad Gita. As in, not everyone can actually develop interest, come together like all of you have come, take out time, put aside things, simply hear Bhagavad Gita, practice Bhagavad Gita. He says such a devotee is very, very rare. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschidyatati siddhaye yadataamapi siddhanam kaschin mam vedi tattvataha. In this world, everyone wants to become a millionaire. So Krishna is saying, my devotees are millionaires. Why? Because 1 out of 1,000 ordinary people want to proceed ahead on the path of spirituality. But if you consider 1,000 such people who are interested in spiritual life, only one can know me in truth. So therefore, the devotees who have the best understanding of the Supreme Lord, they are considered to be millionaires because they are 1 in a million. Otherwise, generally, people cannot know Krishna. They can come spirituality, they can do all kinds of practices. But to know Krishna, Krishna says, that is very rare. So he is increasing the importance of this knowledge. Kaschin mamit tattva, only one knows me in truth. So out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. Of those who achieve perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Yeah. So in verses 4 and 5, Krishna talks about material energy and spiritual energy. So what is material energy? Krishna says, Bhumi rapo nalo vayo kammano buddhirevacha ahankaramiti yamme binname prakritirashthala. Krishna says material energy means 8 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Those are gross elements which make up the gross body, gross things which are tangible. And the subtle elements are mind, intelligence, and ego, which forms the subtle body. So, in the universities today, this is what is being taught. People study Earth in different subjects, say geology or some subjects like that. And they study water element in hydraulics, in engineering. Fire they study in thermodynamics. Air they study in there is a science where they study air also. Ether is a sound acoustics, acoustic physics. And mind they study in mind and intelligence. Ego is studied in psychology, psychiatry. But there is no one department where soul is being taught. So in when we talk about the material energy is basically anything that is which makes up this material world. So generally anything which is tangible, which you can touch, has a component, is a mixture of earth, water, fire, air, ether, these 5 elements. And the subtle elements which where further processing goes, like memory, like discrimination, determination, identity, all these form, they are part of the subtle body, which is formed by mind, intelligence, ego. So Krishna says all this is material energy, but there is a spiritual energy. And he says this spiritual energy is superior to material energy. What is spiritual energy? He says, Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho Yayedam Dharite Jagat Apayam Itastvanyam Prakrite Vidame Param Jiva Bhuto Mahabaho Prakrit Yayedam Dharite Jagat. Krishna says, Arjuna, this is material energy, what I talked to you about, but there is one energy which is superior to this energy, that is spiritual energy. Why is it superior to material energy? Just for one reason, because you see in the airport, there's a huge Boeing parked, stationed behind the airport. Now a small pilot enters the cockpit. As soon as he enters the cockpit, starts the engine, the whole flight can take off. Similarly, there is a JCB, they call it, the huge machine which can dig earth and transport earth and put it somewhere else. But there's how is it moving? It's not automatic. There's a small living entity sitting and controlling, isn't it? Now you see, before Columbus discovered the US, it was only forest, trees. But then later on, the living entities came, and now you have New York City, Los Angeles City. There are so many cities across US, everywhere. Tall skyscraper buildings, humongous malls, what not the living entities are doing, isn't it? But before the living entities intervened, it was just land. So even though the spiritual energy, they seem to be small, and the material energy manifestation is huge, but you see the spiritual energy manipulates material energy. So therefore, spiritual energy, Krishna calls it to be superior and material energy to be inferior. And therefore, the living entities, we are all living entities, the jivas. What should we do with the material energy? We have to engage the material energy in the service of the Supreme Lord. And that is the point Krishna is trying to drive home. Krishna is saying, yes, the whole world is material, managed by my energies. Parasa Shaktir Vividhaiva Shuyate. He says, the whole material, I have multiple kind of energies, different energies doing different things. Some energies are holding the planets in the orbits. Some energies are holding the atoms together. In the 9th chapter, he says, what is that? Jagat Avyakta Murtina. How does it start? Anyway, 9.4, Krishna says, very famous verse. Jagat Avyakta Murtina, he says, I pervade to this entire world. I'm everywhere. Because I pervade to this entire universe, or the material creation in the form of my energies. So it is Krishna's energies running it. But the foolish people today, they find out, say for example, there's Dr. Benzene. He, at one night, he was trying to figure out the benzene molecule. So he did not understand how one carbon atom can, because C6H6. So he didn't understand, because the bonding between carbon and hydrogen atoms is different. For one carbon atom, for n carbon atoms, it bonds with 2n plus 2 hydrogen atoms. Generally, that's the chemical formula. But then he's thought, how can C6H6 exist? So one night he slept, and then he saw in his mind, in his dream, he saw the snake biting its own tail. So that gave him a clue. Oh, this is the structure of benzene. It's like a hexagon structure. So then, very conveniently, he named that molecule as benzene molecule. He should have named it as Krishna molecule, isn't it? Because he did not create it. He only discovered it. But who created it? Who is maintaining it? Who is uplifting everything? Who is letting things go as, things are functioning, even without our intervention? Scientists can make nuts and bolts, but we cannot eat them. We have to eat grains. Scientists cannot make one grain out of their own intelligence. So, considering all of this, the foolish people of today, they discover something and name it after themselves, saying that let my name be, increased in glory for all time to come. To understand, people understand I was the one who discovered. No, you understand who has put it there. Therefore, in Life Comes from Life, Prabhupada has one chapter called as "Give God the Nobel Prize." He calls it. I like that chapter title very much, because the Supreme Lord is the one who is supposed to be given all the prize. So, what is a learning lesson for us? We understand, yes, as Jiva, which is superior to Jada, the Jiva can manipulate Jada or matter. So, therefore, our benefit lies in taking the matter, offering it to Krishna. Whose energy is the material energy? Krishna's. So one will say, why to offer the material energy which belongs to Krishna back to Krishna? Isn't it foolish? Yeah, it's already his. No. It's just like a small child. See, he might get some money from the father. But a small child uses his free will to purchase some sweet or chocolate from the store with the money given by the father to gift something to the father on his birthday. So the father accepts it with great delight. Why? Because the living entity, his son, didn't have to use his free will to use that money to purchase something for him. But he still used that money to give it back to the father. So father is accepting not the money. He has a lot of money. Everything belongs to him. But he is accepting the love of the child, where he utilized father's energy, which is the money, to give it back to the father. Similarly, the material energy which that surrounds us, the devotee understands everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. And therefore, he takes the material energy, engages in the service of the Supreme Lord. So here Krishna says that both material energy is mine, spiritual energy is mine. So what are we supposed to do? What we see around is Krishna's. Who are we? We also belong to Krishna's. So therefore, the perfection of life lies in how well am I able to utilize the things of this world in Krishna Seva. And that's where when we talk about satisfaction, happiness, and so many things, more the degree we utilize someone else's property in our own, Prabhupada's very famous statement is there. I don't recall where. He says, a thief cannot be happy. That means one cannot delight in a stolen property. As soon as you steal something, you're always anxious. What if I'm caught? What if someone embarrasses me in public saying that I was the one? Or so one is always scared of punishment. So Prabhupada says a thief cannot be happy. Similarly, if we do not acknowledge that the whole world belongs to Krishna, and we are selfishly taking the things of this world and utilizing for one's own satisfaction. In the 3rd chapter, Krishna says, Stena hi eva hi. He says such a person is always a thief. He's a thief. And therefore, Krishna has created such an environment that we are all mutually dependent. It happened in the 3rd chapter. Krishna already spoke it. He says about the cycle of life. He says how we are dependent on the demigods. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha. So that means we are dependent on Anna, but Anna can come only by rains. But for the rains, you need to depend on demigods by performing yajna. But how do you get the yajna? Understand what you're going to perform? Refer to Shastra. Where do you get Shastra from? Krishna. So like that. So, and what Anna finally we get, it is nourishing to our body. But if you wanted to nourish your soul, you have to offer it to Krishna again. So he has created such an environment where we are again trained to depend on other living entities, and that's how we function. No one can say I'm fully independent. I don't care for my boss. I don't care for my parents. I don't care for my friends. I'll do what I want. You cannot survive like that. Hmm. Finally, if someone rejects everyone, finally he needs a dog. He depends on the dog. He thinks the dog is depending on me. Actually, he or she depends on the dog so that he will have some psychological, satisfaction. See? So therefore, understanding all of this, we have to open our eyes to see how the things of this world belong to Krishna, how we belong to Krishna, and take that and offer. So therefore, we have to offer it to the Supreme Lord, who is the master of, or the controller of both spirit and matter. I think much more can be said, and we just touch the surface. But it is already time 8:12. So if if anyone has any reflection or question, you can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This
Hare
is Geeta. Thank you so much for this beautiful class. A lot of new learnings. So, Prabhuji, you said about the doll. So, the dependence, emotional dependence, right? We all are emotionally dependent on each other
Correct.
and on the Lord.
Yes.
So, mutual, it's a symbiotic relationship. That's what you're
Correct.
saying. Yeah.
Yes.
So, if you don't mind, how can you elaborate on the example of the doll?
A doll. I mentioned dog.
Dog.
Yeah,
Oh,
in America, it's very famous. Because why in America they have dog? Because sometimes, if you have to deal with another person, you have to go through his ego, or you have to bypass his ego. You cannot expect how the sometimes reaction will come. So dog is very subservient. You tell dog sit, it will sit. You
yes.
tell the dog, jump, it will jump. And you give some snack. So it's pretty easy for them.
So we are dependent on the dog that way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
So eventually, it is all mutually dependency.
Correct.
Yeah.
And therefore, the lesson is best to depend on Krishna. When you depend on Krishna, you don't have to depend on other things. Why?
Right.
Because at the time of destruction, or at the time of destruction on our own body, everything will, even the dog cannot come with us next life. But Krishna as Paramatma comes with the soul.
Right.
The
Prabhuji.
constant life partner is only the Supreme Lord in the form of Paramatma. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, I always accompany the soul wherever he goes. He says, and it is mentioned Kat Upanishad, the soul is one bird and the Paramatma is one bird. The soul, the one bird which is compared to the soul is busy enjoying the fruits of the tree. And the other bird is thinking when this fellow will look at me, and that is the cause of happiness for him. But Paramatma is quiet, he's waiting. As soon as we show symptoms of seriousness, sincerity, and bhakti, immediately Paramatma will give sanction opportunities. Come, okay, attend that class. Then some opportunity will come where you can, meet some devotees, go for some seva. Somehow, Krishna is sanctioning and Prakriti is arranging such opportunities according to the sincerity of the bird. But sometimes we see opportunities are coming, but we don't take them. Again, Paramatma becomes quiet. Like that. He's
So
reciprocating.
that is our free will when we don't take it.
Correct, yes.
So Prabhuji, Arjun was a very elevated soul, right?
Correct.
And even then he had problems,
Yeah.
right?
We all can have problem.
So our problems are going to be 20 times more. But the thing is, he's also Gopi, right? I heard somewhere that Arjun is a Gopi also in Lord's Leela.
Correct. He comes with Krishna tells Arjuna in one of the chapters, he says in the Gita that Arjuna, both of us have come to this material world multiple times. Like Arjuna is always in companion with the Lord. When Krishna comes as Narayana, he comes as Nara, Nara Narayana Rishi. So when Krishna comes as, in another Leela, then Arjuna can come as Gopi. In this Leela, Krishna comes as Krishna in Kurukshetra, Arjuna is the warrior. So like that, they both come in multiple incarnations together.
Ishwar Koti. That's what you.
Actually, Arjuna here is only being put into, he's under Yoga Maya illusion, not Mahamaya illusion. Yoga Maya illusion, where it is Lord's arrangement to get the Gita out. Why? Because the which he had spoken millions of years ago to sun god had been lost. Evam parampara praptam evam rajarisho vidahu sakale neha mahata yoga nashta parantapa. Arjuna, this knowledge had already spoken. Is supposed to come down in disciplic succession. But over time, over millions of years, it is all lost. So therefore, I'm again speaking this to you. And therefore, Arjuna was used as an instrument through whom we are all getting the Gita. Otherwise, Arjuna is a pure devotee.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And so you said that Bhagavad Gita is complete, total.
Yes.
If we've and so what about Bhagavatam? I believe that's higher than Bhagavad Gita, right? In terms of
Well,
when
we
we are
can higher as in we say deeper.
yeah.
Yeah. But with respect to Tattva, Krishna has spoken everything in Bhagavad Gita. See, when we say complete, say, for example, is the material world, you know, the Isha Upanishad, the invocation, Om Purnamada Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnamevavashishyate. When we say like that, everything from the complete Supreme Being, whatever comes out is complete, and after that complete comes, the what is remaining is also complete. That means anything that is done by the Supreme Lord is complete in itself. For example, I'll give you one example. Srila Prabhupada writes there are 9 limbs of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archana, Mandam, Lasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. 9 processes. Krishna, Srila Prabhupada says you can attain Krishna perfection in Krishna consciousness even if you strictly adhere to even one process. Why? Because whatever Krishna gives is complete. It is absolute. So, therefore, even though Bhagavatam, yes, definitely Bhagavatam is much more deeper, where the devotees speak about the Supreme Lord in much more glory, but still Bhagavad Gita is sufficient to take one back home back to Godhead. In that way, it is complete.
Right.
Does that make
So,
sense?
but so you're saying Bhagavatam is spoken by the devotees, but Gita is spoken by the Lord Himself.
Yeah,
So that,
correct.
so that is also equally higher. I mean, but
Yeah, correct. But Krishna doesn't speak about rasa so much. Rasa is definitely there, but the elaboration of rasa is there in Bhagavatam. It's like you can say it's an elaboration.
so when you say Rasa, Prabhuji is transcendental, you mean? Yeah?
Oh, sorry. So rasa means how do the devotees take shelter of the Supreme Lord? For example, Krishna is saying, Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam Yunjir Madashreha. The devotees are one whose mind is constantly absorbed in Krishna and they are completely at every moment taking shelter of Krishna. Okay, but how do you understand this? Do you have an example? Yes, in Bhagavatam. Refer to Bhagavatam. Look at, look at Jada Bharata. Jada Bharata, when he was kidnapped by the dacoits and about to be slaughtered like an animal, no reaction, constantly engrossed in the Supreme Lord and taking shelter of Krishna. Then Durga felt bad and she came out of the deity and cut off her devotees' heads. You see? Then you can understand. Correct. Now I understand how it is done. So, further, the Puranas, I mean, Bhagavatam is the highest Purana, but generally the Smriti is there to elaborate Shruti. And Gita, though comes in Mahabharata, it is Shruti, which is directly Krishna's words. So therefore, Bhagavatam is like a elaboration. It gives more details, more in-depth knowledge, how it is to be done, everything. See, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Material world, spiritual world, everything comes from me. But the entire detail of description of creation is given in Bhagavatam. How did it come? That is not mentioned in the Gita. You're able to understand?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's connected. So Bhagavatam and is connected to the Gita, and yeah, we
correct.
refer a lot of times from each other. Yeah.
And
So
similarly, you talk about when you talk about love, yeah, but that love is not defined. Krishna says you have to love me. Okay, but what is that love? Then in Bhagavatam, you will see, okay, there are rasas. You have Shantaras, Dasaras, Sakyaras, Vasiliras, Madhuriras.
yeah.
That is described in Bhagavatam. But that Krishna will not speak it in the Gita. So like that.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, I also heard, I have not reached the Canto 10. They talk about transcendental a lot, right? And it's
Correct.
lot misunderstood by a lot of people,
Correct.
right? So anyway, so basically it is at much higher level. The Canto 10, of course, you've gone through all the other cantos to reach there, right? But so one should not jump the cantos. But one is intrigued because now I've heard about the Canto 10 transcendental, so I'm waiting.
See, whatever Krishna does is transcendental. Transcendental means what? Anything which is beyond the three modes of material nature, which is not a material product. It's transcendental. So Krishna's dealing with Arjuna is also transcendental. Arjuna's requesting Krishna is also transcendental. Krishna instructing Uddhava in 11th canto is also transcendental. Krishna coming as different incarnations to purify, to save his so many devotees in different leelas, all are transcendental. Everything is transcendental. So Bhagavatam is complete transcendental literature.
So what exactly is the meaning of transcendental, Prabhuji?
Transcendental means transcendental to material creation. Transcendental to the three modes of material nature. It doesn't come under sattva, rajasa, tamas. It is vishuddha sattva. And anything that's vishuddha sattva has the potency and power to bring us to that platform of becoming transcendental. That means it's not affected by material, anything material.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Please come more often, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. It was actually I don't have any question, but just I would like to mention that the examples and the flow of the class was so nice and it was so understandable. I really appreciate the class today. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for such to the point class. And we are having, like, we meet weekly for Bhagavad Gita discussion with our temple president, Mataji. And we are going to do the summary of chapter 7 on coming Monday. So I'm so grateful for all the explanations and the way you just summarized the entire chapter. Please come more often, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Actually, my problem is for me to give a summary of the entire chapter is very difficult because I feel we don't touch anything. So therefore, I just spoke. I only reached 5th verse or something. That too, I hurriedly reached. So I could not do proper justice to what was instructed to me. But whatever you could pick up from there.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. We would like to hear more elaborate classes from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I joined late, Prabhuji. Where are you based, if I may ask you?
I am based in ISKCON of New York City in Brooklyn.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So the temple president is our Her Grace Shamrasika Mataji. Is it? Am I right?
No, Prabhuji. Everybody is here. So, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I was waiting for if somebody has any question or comment. And yeah. So, I got one comment also from Aarti Mataji. Amazing class and Hare Krishna. So, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for coming and giving your precious time. And Chitra Mataji is also saying very nice class. So, Prabhuji, thank you so much for coming and explaining so nicely about the 7th chapter in brief. And I don't have any question, but you answered very nice about the dog question of the Gita Mataji's question about dog, that we should attach with our soul only, Krishna only, so that Krishna is going to come with us every birth after birth, and he will deliver us from this birth cycle. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. And please, everybody, as everybody requested, please come again and we will be in touch. And thank you, Vrinda Mataji and Samaksha Prabhu, Sankirtan Prabhu, that they connected us. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody has any question or comment? Otherwise, we can end up the call here. Maybe Prabhuji has to go also. Okay, so let's pay obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च
Tanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo
वैष्णवेभ्यो
Hare
नमो नमः।
Vaishnavinda ki jai.
Jai.
Datta Kutu Jai. Granth Rashmi Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Grace Arjuna Ananda Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare